Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a topic that makes a lot of parents sweat, the money talk. We're breaking down a fantastic guide that promises to help you make your kid a money genius, even if, and let's be honest, you sometimes feel like a hot mess with your own finances.
So, the book we're looking at is Make Your Kid a Money Genius by Beth Kobliner. Think of it as a go-to guide for any parent who really wants to give their child a solid financial head start, no matter what your own bank account looks like.
But why do we even need a book like this? Well, because for most of us, talking about money is just terrifying. We're so worried we're going to say the wrong thing and accidentally set our kids on a path to financial ruin. And the book just nails this feeling of inadequacy, doesn't it? It's that fear that our kids are going to see our own mistakes. But the core message here is so reassuring. You don't have to be perfect to be a great money teacher.
And here it is, the book's big promise. Becoming a money genius isn't about some complicated, high-level economic theory. It's actually about mastering just a handful of simple, common-sense rules that really anyone can teach their child.
Okay, so what are these simple rules? Well, the very first pillar of becoming a money genius is just starting the conversation. But it turns out how you talk about money makes all the difference in the world. The book gives us some really clear ground rules. First, keep it age appropriate. You're not going to unload your 401k anxieties on your 7-year-old. Second, use real numbers. Don't just say saving is important. Say, if you save $10 a month, in a year that becomes $120. And finally, a really big one, shield your kids from money fights. You have to present a united front because that kind of conflict can create some deep-seated anxiety in kids.
So once you've started the conversation, pillar number 2 is all about building the foundation. Talk is great, right? But it's the actions that create the core habits that are going to serve your kids for their entire lives.
This is such a crucial point. Financial literacy isn't something kids just absorb. Handing your kid a credit card when they go off to college without any training is, as the author says, kind of like abandoning them in a foreign country. You've got to lay the groundwork first.
So, Kobliner boils it all down to these 3 fundamental practices. Kids need to learn the discipline of saving, understand the real value of hard work, and practice the art of spending with intention.
Let's just zoom in on saving for a second. The book calls compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. And all that means is it's the point where your money starts earning its own money, and then that money starts earning money too. The earlier you start, the more insane that snowball effect becomes.
And here's the magic in action. Look at this. The book shows that saving just over $300 a month, starting at age 22, can grow into over $1 million by the time you retire. Now that's a number that makes anyone, especially a teenager, sit up and pay attention.
Okay, on to the working habit. The book brings up some fascinating research from the psychologist Carol Dweck, arguing that we should praise our kids' effort, not their natural talent. Praising hard work builds grit and resilience, which, let's face it, are way more valuable in the long run than just being told you're a natural. All right, the third pillar is all about defense. It's not enough to just build good habits. You also have to arm your kids against all the financial dangers of the modern world.
I just love this analogy because it's so true. The dangers kids face today aren't as obvious as a giant tiger. Things like digital money, easy credit, those in-app purchases, they're like invisible predators, and kids need to be taught how to spot them.
So here's a really cool concept the book uses to explain why plastic is so dangerous. It turns out research shows that when we hand over physical cash, it actually activates the pain centers in our brain. Swiping a card completely numbs that feeling, which makes it incredibly easy to overspend. That's why the book is so big on using cash with kids as much as you can.
So how do you fight these invisible dangers? With automatic habits. The book suggests you create simple, non-negotiable family rules. You don't rely on willpower, because that runs out. You rely on routine, which is way more powerful. Okay, so we've talked about conversations, we've talked about habits, and we've talked about dangers. But what's the one single huge idea that holds all of this together?
This is it. You're not going to sit your kid down for one big talk and suddenly they're financially literate. It's about having hundreds of little conversations and building consistent habits, slowly, piece by piece, from the time they're in preschool all the way through young adulthood. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
All right, so with that ultimate lesson in mind, let's get to our final verdict on Make Your Kid a Money Genius.
Is this book really the survival guide it claims to be? Let's break it down and see if it's worth your time.
Honestly, this book is fantastic. It takes a subject that fills most parents with a sense of dread and makes it feel completely manageable. It's not some dense textbook. It's a really practical, encouraging guide that gives you clear, age-specific advice you can literally start using tonight.
For its simple, actionable, and just deeply reassuring approach, we're giving this book a solid 9 out of 10. It really does empower you to feel like you can be the financial role model your kids need, even if you're not perfect yourself.
And if you want to dive even deeper into this stuff, the book itself recommends these 2 excellent reads. The Marshmallow Test is all about the science of self-control, and Why Smart People Make Big Money Mistakes explores the psychology that trips all of us up sometimes.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. What's the one habit that if you had learned it earlier would have totally changed your life? I think the most powerful thing about this book is its promise that it's not too late to give that incredible gift to your own kids. Thanks for watching.